Hello, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about a couple of concepts to make your tapping more effective and more efficient and more useful. So, with EFT, one of the things that I learned in my early training with it was the concept of be as specific as possible. So, an example of this would be if you're feeling anxious and you know the cause, like I'm feeling anxious about a meeting at work tomorrow, then when you're doing your tapping, be specific. So, even though I'm feeling anxious about my meeting at work tomorrow, I accept myself. Even though I'm feeling anxious about my meeting at work tomorrow, I accept myself. Even though I'm feeling anxious about my meeting at work tomorrow, I accept myself. And then the tapping points would be anxious about my meeting, anxious about my meeting, anxious about my meeting, anxious about my meeting, collarbone, anxious about my meeting, under your armpits, anxious about my meeting, top of your head, anxious about my meeting. Then take a breath, check back in. Where is the anxiety about your meeting? If it's still there, go back to the tapping points, anxious about my meeting, or anxious about my presentation at the meeting. That's even more specific. Anxious about my presentation at the meeting. Anxious about being asked questions at the meeting. So if you know exactly what is causing your anxiety, please focus on that. Now, if you don't know, that's fine. You can just say, even though I'm feeling really anxious right now and I'm not sure why, I guess completely valid. Sometimes after a round of tapping, you will get information within yourself about, oh, I know what's bothering me. It's that meeting. And sometimes you don't. So the beauty of EFT is even if you don't get specific information, just keep tapping on the feeling. It's still going to help you. But if you know the exact thing you're anxious about, then you focus on that. The other principle I want to highlight is to focus on one thing at a time. Now, in life, we often have a couple different feelings at the same time. We may have different body sensation going on. We may have some different thoughts going on. And there could be a couple different things on our mind. That's normal, that's fine. However, when you're tapping, do one thing at a time, because the problem with trying to clump it all together and then tap on it is one thing could change, but another thing doesn't, and then you feel like, oh, this isn't working. You get frustrated. And life is hard enough. We're not trying to make this be another hard and frustrating thing. So even if you know, oh, I'm feeling irritated and sad and frustrated, like maybe you're aware I've got 3 feelings going on. Well, good. That's good. Good awareness. Pick one. Just focus on one part of it. So, frustration. So, even though I'm really frustrated about this thing at work, I accept myself. So, focus on just the frustration. So, rate the intensity of your frustration, see where your frustration is in your body, do the tapping just on frustration, then check back in with frustration. Okay, is it more? Is it less? Has it moved in your body? And just keep working on that one part until that part feels gone or very, very low. Once the intensity is really low, then go back to the bigger issue and ask what else is there. Okay, well, now I'm not feeling frustrated. Now I'm feeling angry about so and so. Or now, okay, I'm not frustrated, I'm disappointed. Okay, even though I'm disappointed about the way my boss handled this situation, I accept myself. Or even though I'm disappointed about missing out on such and such event, I accept myself. And then disappointment would be the tapping point focus. Feeling disappointed, or feeling sad. Clear out that aspect. When that's cleared, ask again, okay, about this situation, what else is there? And that might be it. You may only have a couple different feelings or a couple different aspects of it, but do one thing at a time, because you want to know, you want to track your progress and know, okay, like this is going down. Okay, then this other thing, okay, that's going down. And then this body thing, that's going down. The other thing, the other tip is if you're working on a feeling and it doesn't feel like it's moving any. So let's say you're frustrated. Okay, frustrated about something. And you do a couple rounds, it's like, oh, I'm still feeling frustrated. Okay, switch to body. What is my body doing? Oh, right now I'm like, oh, I'm tense, I'm tight. Even though I'm really tense in my body, switch to a body focus. What is the body sensation? Tap on the body sensation, putting aside the emotion just for a moment, and tap on the body sensation. Chances are something's going to shift. So instead of being tense, you're a little more relaxed, or maybe the tension just moves. Maybe you're tense in your shoulders, and then you do a round or two, and now you're like, oh, I'm feeling fluttery in my stomach. Okay, well, something shifted. You're looking for change with EFT, with tapping, as well as, honestly, with EMDR trauma processing. We're looking for change. If things are shifting in your system, thoughts, feelings, body sensation, then it's working. So keep doing it. And sometimes, now some people get very quick shifts and very quick resolution, and that's awesome. And other people like, oh, it's a little better, and then it jumps back up. And then, oh, they work on it, it's a little better, and it jumps back up. That's okay. Like, it happens, especially with ingrained issues and chronic problems. Like if you have chronic anxiety, this is not going to make it go away in a day. I wish it did, but this is something you're probably going to need to do every day or several times a day, or a few times a week, not several times. You can do it several times a day, but you're going to need to do this like every week, a few times a week, over a period of a few weeks. Like it's not going to go right away, but it does make a big difference with chronic issues, with chronic anxiety. If EFT works for you and you commit to doing it every day, every other day, on whatever is coming up for you, believe me, it will make a difference. You're going to find your daily average anxiety levels are going to gradually drop. So if you tend to run around life at like a 8 to a 10 out of 10, which some people do, sadly, you're going to notice in a couple weeks, oh, I'm like a 6 or a 7. Like, oh, it's not quite as high as it usually is. Or you'll notice you'll be in a situation that would usually like trigger something really serious, and either you don't get triggered, which is awesome, or you get triggered but it's not as intense, or it doesn't last as long, or you're able to move through it more skillfully. So it's working. So keep doing it, keep tapping, but just remember, do one thing at a time and be as specific as possible. All right, tips for the day. See you next time.